Sit up nice and tall here. Relax the hands, palms down along your thighs. Close your eyes for a moment. Notice what you notice. I am noticing the bit of lifted joy and ease in this physical seat just from sharing that conversation. The movement of the practice, the communication with one another, so important. All the yoga. And I'll ask you to keep looking and opening to that joy and ease throughout practice today. It is a backbending, focused practice. We'll take it progressively so that we can all find the place that feels best. Start with just gentle head rolls. Nice and slow. A lot of times, especially just as I'm starting and opening, I kind of get the upper body a bit involved, almost like a cat-cow or a wave helping the head. And then switch, go the opposite direction in your neck roll. Finally coming back to your center, and then lift the arms up. Open your eyes. Reach high. Take the right hand down by your side. Reach over, side body bend. Feel free to look up to the side or down. And then take both arms to the sky. Exhale, side body bend, second direction. Good, both arms up. Child's pose. Fold the hands, palms down in front of you, and then flip over your legs to come to knees apart, toes together. Inhale and rise up to all fours. And cat and cow. Come back to your neutral spine. Keep the knees where they are, but take the hands almost 2 feet further out in front of you, so a pretty good reach there. Now we call this one puppy dog pose. Send your chest down towards the floor, but keep your butt lifted. It's a big heart opener, shoulder opener. Claw the earth with your finger pads and press your thumb and first finger towards the earth a lot. And I've got like face, nose flat down towards my mat, just hovering right above the mat there. If this is quite comfortable to you, you've got a lot of range in the shoulders and chest, you might want to look forward towards the hands. If that feels like too much of a lift in the neck, it is for me. Again, you could just look straight down. And then come back to all fours. Pull your hands back underneath the line of the shoulders and change to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Pedal it out. Okay, bring the right foot forward in between your hands for a low lunge. Shift the hips a little back and forth here. Straighten and bend through the front knee. Just trying to find space. How's it feeling, working for you today? And then stay with the low lunge and lift the right hand up to the sky and revolved lunge. Nice full breath. Lovely. Down dog lunge. Both hands to the inside. Spin the back heel down. Push the weight equally through the feet and broaden the right knee closer towards the pinky toe side of the foot. The hands here don't have to have any weight in them at all. And then walk it all the way back, downward facing dog. Second side. Step your left foot all the way forward to that low lunge. And shift back and forth in the hips. Straighten and bend, straighten and bend. Stay with the bend. Take the left hand high into your revolved lunge. And lower the hands to the inside of your foot. Walk them way out towards the right corner of the mat for that down dog lunge. I sometimes want to rename this posture. It's more about the lunge and the width and the hips, getting into the legs here. All right, and then we walk it back in, downward facing dog. Because here in downward facing dog, it should be about the foundation from hands, arms, chest, spine, and it's the legs that we worry about last. It's kind of the reverse. Okay, look forward to your hands. Step to the front of the mat, but in Malasana, yogi squat. So take the feet wider than the hands, turn the toes out a little bit. Maybe elbows to knees first as you start to get in lower through the squat and the legs. If that still feels comfortable, send the butt even a little bit lower. If you have your block handy, usually this opening squat, this close to the beginning of class, I want to sit on the block. Feels a little better to pull the torso straight upright. Take in a couple of breaths there. And take the hands back down to the earth to support you to straighten your legs. Standing forward fold, have the feet about outer hip distance apart, so a little wider than you might typically. Almost as wide as the yoga mat. And let your upper body hang over. Little bend behind the knees here is good. Ragdoll pose, hold on to the elbows and sway a bit from side to side. Good. Slowly roll all the way up to standing. Shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times. And shoulders forward and down. Tadasana, top edge of your mat, mountain pose. Pose within all other poses and the preparation for all poses. How do you feel? Let's keep building upon this. Inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower flat down to the mat. Keep going in the sun salutation. Peel the chest up for cobra, really paying attention to each cobra here. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips all the way up and back. Look in between the hands and move forward a step, jump, or a walk. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Do it all over again. Inhale, lift. Ah, so nice. Exhale, fold. Half lift. You've got this. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. Downward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back. Look in between your hands. Step, jump, walk to the front of the mat. And then half lift. Forward fold. Stand, reach the arms up to the sky. Bring the palms to the center. Let's go into our sun salutation B. Keep warming up the body, find the flow. Utkatasana, so bend the knees, sit into the thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Cobra. Down dog. Step the right foot in between the hands. Spin the back heel down. Warrior one, lift the torso, lift the arms. Lower your hands either side of the foot. Step through plank. Lower. Lift the torso, cobra. Down dog, lift the hips. Step the left foot in between the hands. Spin the right heel down. Rise up, warrior one, second side. These are pretty quick. Take the hands right back down. Step through to plank. Down to the mat. Cobra. And down dog. Breathe right here in downward facing dog. And look forward to the hands. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Utkatasana. Stand all the way up. Again, hands to the center of the heart, Anjali Mudra. This breath, this intention sets the intention for the next breath. Release the hands, give everything a little bit of a shake. We're going to pick up our strap or whatever you found to substitute for the strap, unfurl it. This is just our shoulder openers that we do from time to time. So we've got this strap a little wider than the shoulders. And go up, over, and down. Have a pretty tight strap here. Find a rhythm that works for you. And try to keep the shoulders at the same alignment, so not one side then the next. Sometimes there's a lot of this. We want to keep it all together. You can slow it down or speed it up. When it gets too easy, take the hands closer together. I was watching the women figure skaters in the Olympics last week. And a couple of those Russian skaters had their hands like so close together doing this in their warm-ups and just like whoop, all the way up and back. It was amazing. That's something you're born with. I am not. Need a little more room. Do it one more time. Good. Here comes Jason sneaking in to take some photos. I just mentioned because if y'all want to turn your screen off for a couple of minutes, it'll just be a couple of minutes. You can. All right, we're done with the straps. Get it out of the way. Come meet me in downward facing dog. It's just still pictures, no video. Downward facing dog here. Pedal out your feet a bit. Shake out the head. We'll get back to our regular scheduled program here outside of that strap. So lift your right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Pull the knee to your chest and hover forward. Step it all the way through into your lunge. Great, take the right hand high and revolved lunge. We've already done this. Looking good. Release the right hand and then come upright and lift both arms to the sky. Let's play with the back leg for a moment. Bend the knee, hover it right above the ground, and a little bit of a pulse. Stay there. Good. And then lift it as high as you can. Straighten the leg and press through your back heel. So we want that back leg to be as straight as possible. Hinge forward and take it into a twist. Elbow to the outside of your knee. Place the palms together and point the right elbow to the sky. Good, breathe here. Nice exhale. Go a little deeper in your twist. Release the twist, step it all the way back, downward facing dog. Let's do the second side. Lift the left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Good, step it all the way forward into your low lunge. And take the left hand high into your revolved lunge. Just revolve lunge first, finding that starting opening of the twist. Lower the hand down. Come back upright into your up dog. Both arms to the sky. Sorry, playing around with controls here a little bit. And add the twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Yeah, and here we want the back leg high, as straight as possible. Press through the back heel. Unwind and go all the way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. Lower flat down to your mat. And take the hands out into a T shape. Now take the right hand right beside your chest like it was going to go into cobra. And I call this one scorpion. Roll over the left shoulder. Place the right foot behind you. You can lay your head down to the mat. Don't keep the head lifted. Nice shoulder opener here, across the chest. And some range and mobility in the hip asked. If that step back of the right leg is too much, you can always just stack it. Okay, roll back down onto the belly and switch sides. Right hand extends out, left hand right beside the chest. Roll over. Keeping shoulder and the side of the head down to the mat. Might seem like a little thing, but keeping that lift of the head throws off the alignment. If you do need some lift of the head, try placing a block underneath your ear. See if that helps. Okay, we go back. Full cobra. Hands right beside the chest. Peel the chest up. Good, good, good. Downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Look forward to your hands. Step or jump all the way to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Breath in. Breath out. All right, release the hands down. Give everything a little bit of a shake. Take a nice wide stance on your mat. You can face either long edge. Extend the arms out. And turn the right toes out. Look out over your right fingertips. Go to warrior two. Bend the knee a lot. Side ankle pose. Elbow to the knee. And take the top arm palm down overhead. This pose is always the first thought of like if I'm looking towards upward facing wheel pose, which we'll practice today, how's that top shoulder feeling? If the arm is always kind of blocking your face, it's going to be really tough and not productive to get into upward facing wheel. So we want to move that top shoulder back out of the way. Try to clear enough space that you can quite easily look up towards the sky. Squeeze the tips of the shoulder blades together on your back as you're doing that. Good, come back up to warrior two. Straighten the right leg. Thanks, Jason, he's out of here now. Turn over to the other side, bend the left knee. And go elbow to the knee, top arm palm down overhead. And again, you want to try to clear enough room so the chest can be really wide open. Squeeze the tips of the shoulder blades together. Turn, turn, turn to look up towards the sky. Okay, and then come back up. Straighten the leg, turn the toes. Heel toe the feet together for a moment. Shake out the legs. So we're going to do that exact same thing, except for instead of elbow to the knee, we're going to take the hand down to the floor, or this is the first reason you might really want to block. Reaching the hand to the block, which is just going to keep creating a little bit more opening across the chest. Preparing us for progressive back bends here. Feet wide, arms out, turn the right toes out, bend the right knee. Go again, elbow to knee. Take the other hand just to your waist for a moment, and then let's set the second layer. Hand down to a block. If I'm using my height of a block on like the second or third height, that's actually higher than when I'm at elbow to knee. So it's either flat end of the block to start to go lower, or no block at all. Don't overly reach here. You want to have enough comfort in getting that hand down flat against some height or flat against the floor. But then we can add in some of these other elements. So if I've got hand flat down on block or floor, I'm using my upper arm bone and shoulder to keep the knee, inner thigh pinned back out of the way. And then hand on the left hip here. Can you get your left hip, that bony edge of the left hip, to face more up towards the sky? It's not going to, but that's the work. It's like, how can you turn, externally rotate through, especially that front leg, to get just a little bit more room, which makes it easier to also revolve through the chest, upper back. Add the top arm into all that. It's a lot. Top arm palm down overhead, reach, reach, reach. Again, if the arm is blocking your face and view of the sky, we want to keep trying to move it back. Inhale, lift all the way back up to warrior two. Whew, that should feel like a lot. Straighten the leg. Let's move it on over to the other side. If you're using the block, take it with you. Bend the left knee. Your first elbow to knee. Good, and then you're going lower, either hand to the low edge of the block or no block, flat down. Whichever one you can sustain. Again, use the upper arm bone to try to broaden out. Externally rotate through the left thigh now. Okay, top hand goes palm down overhead, reach, reach, reach. Extra little scoop of the tailbone underneath to lift the right hip. Slightly, slightly, slightly. Good. Stay with it, stay with it. You've got this. Okay, come back up to warrior two. Nice. Straighten the leg, turn the toes. Wide-legged forward fold. Use it as a little reprieve here. Okay, and look towards the front edge of your mat. Go around to downward facing dog. Lower the knees for a moment so that you can go down to your forearms. Here's another opportunity that you could add the block in between the hands. Make an L shape between thumb and first finger to keep the shape. Lots of activity from the kids upstairs, sorry. Like, what's going on up there? Okay, forearms are down, lift the legs up. It's a school break week, so I hear a lot more happening. Lift the hips. Dolphin pose here. You can look back at your toes. Keep pressing down through the forearms, giving a big opening through the thoracic spine, the upper back. Oh, and then lower the knees down. After some big thing like that, I like to use that block since it's already handy to go into child's pose. So forehead can be under the block in child's pose, just a little more supportive lift there. Wrap the hands back to your feet so the shoulders get to release kind of away from the back, if you will. Okay, come upright. Okay, apparently a child fell down the stairs, but it's okay. Dad's helping. I'm like, it's very loud upstairs in my house right now. Okay, out of it. Sorry, it's a little distracting. Let's sit and take a straddle position. Flex the feet, toes, knees point straight up to the sky. Reach to the center, go down to the forearms or stamp on the hands. Use a little bit of height here if you'd like. Just kind of close the eyes, fold into this more like a yen pose. Walk it over to the right side, hands on either side of the leg as you fold over. And then walk it over to the left side. Okay, come back into your middle. Bring the legs in and give it a little bit of a shake. So I want you to have the option of using two blocks, one under each hand, here for a reverse table pose. I'm going to place the blocks on their lowest height so that they are the most stable. If you Do not have blocks. Hands are on the ground. No big deal. This is just a little extra height. And then I want you to start by turning the fingers out towards the long edges of your yoga mat. Lift the chest up. Look towards where, say, your wall and ceiling meet each other, and then press through the feet and lift the hips off the ground into reverse table position. Look just straight up here. So instead of wall and ceiling, now you're looking straight up at the ceiling, but don't drop your head back. And lower the hips all the way down. Try the hands, fingers, kind of hanging off the front of the block if you're using blocks, facing towards your toes. Be good to yourself here. If this one doesn't work for your shoulders, you're going to go back to hands turned out to the side. All right, lift up. And then lower it right back down. We're just playing with the different hand positions. And now can you turn your hands back so that the fingers kind of hang off the front side of the block, facing away from the line of your toes. Take a little bend in the elbows. Some of these will work better than others. You'll notice these last two were not staying up for very long. Ready? Lift. Come right back down. Choose your favorite hand position. Mine's the one with the fingers facing out. That's why we started there. And we're going to do it one more time. So any of those three hand positions, inhale and lift. With the lift and the hands in your favorite position, this is optional. It is progressive. Don't do it if this is already a lot or if you're working on stabilizing in any of the shoulder joints that might have had an injury. You're leaning over to one side. Lift your right arm up to the sky, free. Again, totally progressive and optional. And you got to find right hand back down to where it started. Strong in the torso. Lift the left arm up. It's a big ask. And lower it back down. Lower hips. Hug the knees, round the chest a little bit forward. Okay, a similar idea, except for we're going to lie all the way down and go right into an upward facing wheel shape. I highly recommend trying it with blocks. If you have a space where those ends of the blocks can be put against a wall for even more stability, feel free to move yourself and do that. Here's how this one works though. You lie down on the mat with the blocks a little wider than your shoulders. Lift both arms up to the sky and then flex the palms. And you're going all the way into like a southpaw stance. So then the hands catch the front end of the block. I've got my fingers down towards the ground, but my thumb and the base of my palm is going to end up at the top edge of the block. Elbows fall out wide because of where I am in this position right now. And then we all try to do bridge pose. And if you need to watch me first in this, that might make a lot of sense because we're going to do this 3 times. So if you want to watch the first, get a good feeling of how to set up, that's cool. And then join the second too. If you know where you're going, you can join all 3. So we're bridge pose, a lift in the hips. And I'm going to press down so that my palms go flat, head comes up, and start to straighten the arms. Now I have these blocks placed wider than the shoulders. It's wider than my typical upward wheel. So I get a little bit of room here in the shoulders. But I've got to work more strength and stability to the midline. And then come on down and release the hands. Now, if you watched the first one, time to set up and join me for the second. If you did the first one, you might already know what little changes you want to make. We do these in repetition so that we have an opportunity to keep playing, letting go of what doesn't work, and coming into a practice that feels good. So I know I want to try my blocks a little closer now. That felt okay. It's like when you start with the yoga strap, it needs to start wide, and then maybe it can come in a little bit. Okay, attempt number 2. Bridge pose has to happen first, and then lift. Everything okay up there? Slow lower down. Give yourself a few breaths of release. I'm gonna watch y'all in the 3rd attempt. If you're thinking these blocks are messing me up, or you just want to try it without the blocks because we are not doing this another time, go ahead and discard those blocks. It's different. 3rd attempt. Place the hands. Lift the hips first for cobra. And then the entire upper body in your upward facing wheel. That's it, Marie. Keep squeezing the elbows in. Pull the chest closer to that wall that you can see. Good, good, good. Lift the head to tuck the chin and come all the way back down. Everybody, hug the knees to your chest. Give it a little bit of a rock. It's a big pose. Roll up to a seated position. Do a little bit here to keep engaging strength in the core, but getting us off of the hands. It's boat pose. Feet come off the ground, boat pose. We think of it as abdominal strength. It is. It's not going to happen without it, but it's also quite a hip flexor, strengthening stabilization pose, especially if you're going for the straight leg version. Try hands off the legs, whether your knees are bent or straight. We're going to try tapping a heel down and up, one leg at a time, down and up, down and up. Now, what absolutely is full core strength is half boat. Let's go for that now. It kind of looks like a canoe. Some folks call this hollow body. You're halfway down from boat, but not all the way. And then let yourself release all the way down to the mat. Stretch the arms overhead. Right leg straight up to the sky. Hold behind your thigh to the calf. If you have your yoga strap handy and want to use it, lace it underneath the foot. Now, although we spent more time in that upward facing bow, the sort of peak pose for today is inverted staff, which hails out of upward facing bow, but then you go down to the forearms like we did in dolphin pose a little bit earlier. Switch sides here, left leg up, right leg down. I think inverted staff is an intimidating pose. So I've got it here at the end of our month of practices of letting go. Release the left leg down to the mat. Give yourself 5 good released breaths in a mini shavasana right here. With each new exhale breath, release expectation, release limiting belief. Leave yourself in that joyful open space that came from the conversation at the beginning of class. And although I'm going to take us through inverted bow pose, carry along with me as much or as little as you'd like. If you're like, the most joyous thing for me right now is going to be bridge pose, or staying right here a little bit longer, that's cool. The good thing is this inverted staff pose starts with bridge, and so we work progressively from there. Soles of the feet to your mat here. It's one little look, one go at inverted staff. Soles of the feet on the mat, bend at your elbows like bookends of the hands hovering over the belly, and then press down through feet, shoulders, head, and lift the belly up. Already here, start to squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other on the back, broadening across the collarbone. Little lift of the chin so that you're not collapsed down into the chest. Okay, one hand goes back into that southpaw shape, and then reach the other hand back as well, so the hands are prepped flat on the floor for bridge pose, upward facing wheel. Now press into the hands, lift your head, top of the head to the mat. Inverted staff is actually a top of the head to the mat pose, but first we've got to go up, straighten the arms, lift. Your biggest back bend shape right here. We were playing with the balance from side to side because that's what you have to do to get into inverted bow. Now I need you to go back down to the head and down to each forearm. Crawl the hands behind the head, interlace. You should be able to see your elbows in your peripheral vision. And then you walk back to the hands out of the forearms. Lift one more time for full wheel. Tuck the chin to the chest, lower the hips all the way back down, and pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself a well-earned hug. If my words weren't matching the actions, that's one that you might want to go back to, rewind, watch later, try it again. All right, do your next thing here. I'm going to take reclined, I'm going to take a twist. Both knees fall over towards the right side in the supine twist. Those big back bends tend to just kind of break me wide open, and the words are sometimes hard to come by. Okay, other side. Knees go over towards the left side if you're doing this one with me. And then close the practice with one more pose, one more movement that would help to complete this for you. If you want to stay lying back, maybe your one more is right into Shavasana. This is a good time for an inversion if that's in your regular cool down. Anything that feels right. Yeah, I'm rereading one of my favorite translations of the Yoga Sutras right now. I just really keyed in on the pieces this morning that were like, you're going to need so much discipline, so much work, continued practice to sort of advance, if you will, along the yogic path. And it can result in superpowers. It literally like names crazy superpowers. But then the moment you reach them, you can't get trapped in them. You have to be able to release and know that all of that discipline and work is for freedom and release, transcendence. It's a big ask. But I can see how it relates even to the mundaneness of the physical postures. It's good to get some complicated things and some difficult postures, but then we can't have an attachment to that. It's like release, and you'll find more joy in it. You'll find more ease. This is the release. If you're not already to Shavasana, please take that now. Slowly come back to a seated position. As you find the comfortable seat, turn the palms up along the thighs. Welcome in an open, easeful energy that came from the discipline of practice. Change, turn the hands, palms down along the thighs. Allowing that warmth of energy to permeate the body more deeply. And change once again, turn the palms again up. Now letting your warm energy really expand all around you. Even think through the screens, reaching each other. So full. One more change. Palms together, thumbs to the sternum and Anjali Mudra. Throughout the month of February in classes, we focused on letting go. We'll use that release to be more spacious so that as we go into March, we will play in the field of possibilities, take on some new things, see what comes from them. All right, for now, we'll close this practice through the sound of Om. Empty out the breath. Take a deep breath in. Bow in full gratitude to yourself, each other, and this practice. Namaste. Okay, thanks so much.